came to Hill Top Cottage and I bought all these beautiful roses to plant on the side of the house. We're still figuring out where to put the rest of the sunflowers, but my vegetable gardens are all set up. My new friend Becky, who I met at our book club, introduced me to her favorite pizza place in Great Barrington, and we had no idea at the time this gorgeous festival would be going on.
Some folks think I look foolish, let it make a fool out of me. I worked in fields of cotton, I have worked in fields of corn, but I ain't seen nothing like it since the day I was born. I've been a rocket, I've been a rolling. Some folks think I look foolish, let it make a fool out of me.
That local band is called the Paper Anniversary Band. They were really good, and their children also sang with them. And then we walked around town after we ate pizza, got some ice cream, and this bookstore was open. We couldn't believe it. They stayed up so late for the festival. A sweet bookstore kitty. Back at Hilltop, we had a lot of turkey visitors, and there was so much to do to get this 3-season room set up. So this room here is just this 3-season room off the back of the house. There's no heat, but there is electricity, and so we decided to turn this into a tea room. Our cat Monet wanted to get into this room so bad, but Matthew was working really hard when he wasn't antagonizing Monet. There was a lot to do to get this room ready. Matthew spent countless hours sanding, spackling, vacuuming up the dust, taking out the trim. We painted the ceiling, and I keep saying we, but really it was Matthew that did all this hard work. He wanted to gift me this room, and it was just so special. But we painted the ceiling first Polar Ice by Benjamin Moore Paints, and it was lovely, but it was so pale blue it looked white, and we decided to go with Heaven on Earth. And in between painting, we tried to make the most and enjoy our time. I love doing dinner outside. Dinner al fresco has always been a dream of mine, and now that we have a yard and this incredible view, I've been cooking and trying to make the most of the summertime while it's here. I took a Monday off of work to take a break because I knew work was going to get difficult this summer with summer camp. And I went to my favorite place on earth. It's one of my happy places. It's the Book Barn in Niantic. There are 3 locations. This is the Main Street location. It's where they have all the old children's books. It's one of my favorites. And then I went into some of the old antique shops in town. Niantic's just beautiful because they have these beautiful shops. This one was a lot of fun exploring. I loved all the big mixing bowls and the antique signs and chairs. How beautiful are these old antique dishes. I love the blueprint. And then I also walked by the old movie theater. I have not watched a movie at the cinema here, but I just love this old town feel in the paintings. Anna Pearl's Antiques is where you'll find vintage jewelry, beautiful clothing, and just lovely feminine items. The main barn is my favorite of the book barns. It's this magical land where there are different boxes and stalls and shelves and cubbies and different buildings and huts everywhere you go for books. And if you go into the main barn, it's where they have a lot of their antique books, and at the upstairs is the young adults and the self-help. This front entranceway here is a lot of children's books as well. Let's go inside. This is a great place to bring families as well. There are goats and cats and so much to explore. There are games. Children can drive these little cars and toy vehicles all over the little pathways, and there's also a playground on the way to the haunted bookshop. I love Mr. McGregor's garden shed. It's such a nod to Beatrix Potter. And here's the play area surrounded by this gorgeous garden. I mean, how much fun is this for families? They used to have an old pirate ship, but they replaced it with a newer, less broken down playground for the kids. The haunted bookshop is where authors that have passed away, these are their books. Paid for my books in the main barn and made my way over to chapter 3. This is chapter 3, where you'll find westerns, all the romances, and I mean all of the romances. Sci-fi, travel books are upstairs, vintage paperbacks, and this sweet darling. Don't leave just yet. There's one more surprise right behind chapter 3. It's this bookmobile. It is a tradition of mine to stop by Gumdrops and Lollipops for a snack or an ice cream before hitting the Niantic Bay Boardwalk. This is Hole in the Wall Beach, and Hole in the Wall Beach has this beautiful park in the grassy area. I usually bring a picnic blanket and lay out there, but this time I decided to do some reading right on the sand. And I brought some of my new books with me. I've been feeling the best about myself lately, my body image, or just the way I'm feeling in general, but just being on a beach feels so nice, relaxing, floating in the water. I'll be honest, I was nervous because we do have sharks, but this is such a quiet area. I felt pretty safe after waddling around for a little while. I usually stop at Skipper's in Niantic for a lobster roll, but that was closed for renovations, so I drove 15 minutes to the old Saybrook location, and I'm so glad I did. It was a perfect way to end the day with this beautiful hot buttery lobster roll. It's also been a challenge getting used to my new job. I'm working for a nonprofit creating art programs, but I got to do something amazing, and it's I haven't been in a dark room in ages. And one of the programs we did was high school students at the Hartford Art School, and they let me develop my own film. It felt really good to be in the dark room again, although it was really frustrating trying to get the film on the reel. I had the hardest time. I used to do it in like seconds. The first roll did not turn out well, but the second time I got it in like 10 seconds flat. It felt really good. I just love being around, a dark room again. All those chemicals and everything, I know most people think it smells, but for me it's just really nostalgic. It was an absolute honor to be able to do this again, especially because my college that I graduated with, Cazenovia, after almost 200 years, they closed their doors. It didn't bounce back after the pandemic, and so I had just said goodbye like a few weeks prior to the dark room and the school I went to visit.
Yes. In fact, there's engagement photos here from when I photographed my cousin's engagement many, many years ago, and my cousin's maternity pictures are in here.
I was just so happy this roll came out and so surprised to see that there were photos from my father and mother-in-law's anniversary. My mother-in-law passed away, and so these photos are just really special. There's also maternity pictures, engagement photos from photo shoots I've done of my cousins and some clients. Welcome to my very dirty garage. All this stuff you see besides these two chairs was the tenants before us. They are cleaning out the garage next week. So we'll be able to have all this craziness empty, and we'll be able to put our stuff in and have this nice and clean and organized. But for now, these are the two chairs I picked up the other week with my dad. They are pink vintage wingback chairs, like velvet. This one's in really good shape. They're just a little bit dirty, so I'm gonna give them a good cleaning. This one though does have some seams coming undone on the back. It is repairable, but that's not something I'm gonna worry about right now. Maybe it'll be a winter project. But this one needs a little extra TLC. There is a tear on this part, but the fronts are in great shape. I mean, look at that. It just needs a little bit of cleaning. So I picked up this Scotch Guard. It does say upholstery. People have said it works really well, but I'm gonna do a spot check on the back of this one before I begin. Okay, that's all I'm doing for now. Old bowl hack. This one I thrifted it. It had a chip in it. And it was actually quite a sharp chip, but I had an idea that I could sand it down a little bit, and so I did, and it worked. It was quite sharp right here. You could see that. And it was quite obvious that it was a chip, but with a little bit of sanding, just a little gentle sanding paper, it smoothed over the chip and made it barely even noticeable. I don't think you could do that with new plate and new bowls and pottery today, but I mean, just the material it was made of, it just worked out. And so I'm very proud because these bowls could be, gosh, like over $100, $80. And this one I got for under 30. So, and it's quite large. Pretty cool. I've had an absolute crazy few weeks. I was an alternate camp director at a summer camp, an art camp for kids, 150 kids, 34 staff, very busy. I'm just a little exhausted. Today is my recovery day, but Matthew surprised me by putting the chairs and the corner hutch into the tea room. As you know, we've been remodeling it on a budget. I mean, this is a rental home. We don't want to put in a ton of crazy effort into a house that's not even ours, but we did sand it, paint it, and by we, I mean Matthew. I was going to do it all myself, but he wanted to do it as a gift for me and a surprise, which was really sweet. So he and his friends retrimmed the bottom and the windows. We have one more window to do because the window needs repairing, but it's absolutely stunning in here. It's so romantic and whimsical. We painted the ceiling blue. And again, I keep saying we, but it's been all Matthew. It really has been all him, and I'm so grateful and just really appreciative. That was just so romantic that he did this. I thrifted this artwork from Goodwill. It's the Candy Tuft Fairy from Cicely Mary Barker. I just think the gold frame is just beautiful. I love flower fairies. My goal for this room is to make it look very romantic and whimsical. And my favorite is the lavender fairy, but I haven't seen a framed one of that one yet, but I'll keep a lookout. And I also found this at Goodwill as well, quite a while ago. I need to get a frame for it, but it's perfect for in here. It's from 1871. Frank Leslie's illustrated newspaper. And it's these women's fashions. And I think it could be really lovely in here in this space. I have never had a room all to myself that I could just make as girly and romantic as my dreams can take me. My goal is I want this room to feel kind of like Narnia. We have the blue ceiling, this really romantic, I think it's called Heaven, or it's something with the word heaven in it. I'll have to find it for you. But it's this beautiful light shade of blue. The walls are white, but it's like a creamy white. It's called Cotton Sheets by Bear Paints. And I just liked it because the landlord, she just wanted us to paint the room white. She's like, oh, I'll just buy some white paint. And I was like, can I paint the ceiling blue? And is it okay if I do a little bit, something a little different, but also still nice and rentable? And she said yes. And in fact, she said I could paint any color, any room I want, which was really amazing. I think she knows that we'll take great care to make it look nice no matter what we do. And yeah, I'm really excited to be in this space. Matthew surprised me the other night. I asked him if he could help me with dishes. And he was like, no, I can't, I'm too busy working. I was like, okay, well, I told you I needed extra help with dishes and stuff this week because at camp, I'm tired. And he's like, can't, I'm too busy, and he left. And I was like, well, that was strange. And it's because he was trying to surprise me by putting all this together while my friend was here. So it was really sweet. And yeah, it's all coming together. I have some ideas for decorating. And one of those things is this came in the mail today. I'm so excited. So these are vintage inspired handkerchiefs. Look, they're all these beautiful different colors. Just so many, and I can't wait to open these up because I'm gonna make some beautiful decorations and banners using these. So the goal is to, let me take one out. Oh my gosh, it's a Winnie the Pooh one. I did not know there would be some Disney in here. That's really cute. Minnie and Mickey birthday party. Adorable. But my goal is to actually cut these in half so that they become triangles. Like this. And then I'm going to make beautiful little bunting garlands using the triangles pieces and some ribbon. I just made it back from the store and I got all sorts of crafting supplies that I need. Like the cutting mat. And let's see, I have a cutting roller. And plenty of ribbon. I chose the light blue. I just think that's really pretty. And this I already had. I just grabbed it from my crafting cabinet, but some fabric fusion. We're gonna make those the garlands. It'll be so much fun. Pushpin hangers that look like roses that I'm going to use as little hooks to hang up my garlands when I'm done. So you're going to mix up your squares into a random pattern. You don't want any of the same ones over here side by side, so you want it to be like mixed between the purples and blues, pinks, yellows, whichever ones that you go with. That way you have a good variety in your triangles. And then I lined up my ribbon and I'm going to glue them down with the fabric glue. So I placed them in an order that I like. And now it's time to glue them down. Take your second piece of ribbon, match up the ends, and glue all the way around it. next morning, the bunting was completely dry and ready to hang up. The bunting is done and it's all up. I'm proud of how it came out. It was a fun idea. I just kind of came up with it in my imagination based on colorful buntings I've seen in the past. I was like, why not use handkerchiefs? So I'm very happy with it. The only thing I would change, of course, I pointed out, is the tape, the glue. I would have used the glue instead of a tape because of these lines. But it's so whimsical and imaginative, and I just love it in here. It's not going to stay up permanently, it's just for fun. It's like like a setup, just to celebrate the tea room being put together. And yeah, it feels very whimsical and magical, and I love this space. I couldn't wait to finally decorate. This is the moment when a bunch of spiders jumped at me. My corner hutch hadn't been used in a while, and so it was collecting spider webs apparently. So what I do naturally is I collect the spiders and I carry them out. The tea room officially feels like a tea room now that the teacups are in place. This tea room is officially my favorite room in the house right now. I love how the bunting came out. The one thing I would have done differently is using the tape, of course, adhesive tape instead of the fabric glue. But you can't even tell, I think it's magical and whimsical and so much fun. There is still a lot left to do in this room. We need to finish trimming one of the windows. I'm looking for a beautiful rug to put up and more artwork like my Cicely Mary Barker painting, the print here. I would like to decorate the walls in the space and put my art easel in the corner. I'm also looking for a tiny little bookcase just so I can have a nice little reading nook. I'm looking for a round tea table and some chairs so I can have guests in this room and have tea. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you've been following me for a little while and have come back, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And yeah, learning to YouTube is tough. It's a whole learning experience, and I'm hoping to create videos that will make people feel cozy and happy and inspired. So I hope that you got something fun out of this. In this episode, we started doing the tea room. The rental house we have has this extra room that we are turning into a fun creative space, and we've been doing a lot with the house since we moved in. I have some more crafts coming up. I have recipes, lots of book recommendations. I'll be sharing the library as I put it together at the new place, some home renter-friendly decorating, and of course finishing up the tea room. So hopefully with the next few videos I'll have this decorated and finished up.